Hey guys, it's Astrologian, and today we're doing something just a little bit different. Today, we're going to be ranking all of the Limit Break 3s for all of the jobs in Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I do know you guys were probably expecting a lore video from me. Don't worry, I do have one of those coming out real soon. But in the meantime, I did want to get a video out there, and I have a lot of fun with these lists, and it's been a while since I've done one, so I wanted to have a bit of fun today. Now, I am going to try to keep this list as objective as possible, but seeing as all of the rules limit breaks do the exact same thing, I am going to be a little bit biased in terms of aesthetics and what I think looks cooler. Also, you might have noticed that there is Blue Mage on this list, and that's because this is a list of every job, but we're just going to ignore that for today. Starting off, we have Astrologian. Now, Astrologian is a healer limit break, and a lot of people generally think that healer limit breaks are pretty good, but they're really not that great, because, I mean, if you have to use a healer limit break, it probably means your team is sucking and you're going to get a bad parse. With that being said, Astrologian isn't terrible. It is kind of the coolest healer limit break, so I'm going to put it in C tier. I think I'm going to be a little bit generous there. But generally, I don't really think that the healer limit breaks are really all that great. In contrast with me putting a healer limit break pretty low, I am going to put Bard pretty high up here. Now, I know this is going to be a controversial opinion because a lot of people don't really like the physical ranged limit breaks. They are line AoEs, and a lot of people consider them the worst, but actually, they're the best. You know why? Because you could be standing on the other end of the platform and still hit the boss with it. You can't do that with a circle AoE, and you definitely can't do that with your silly melee AoEs, so obviously it's the best one. Obviously they're the best, except they're not the best, because really, the best ones are the tank AoEs, including Gunbreaker. Gunbreaker is going in S tier, first S tier of the list, and this is going to be even more controversial because people generally don't like the tank LBs at all outside of fights where you're obligated to use them. But here's the thing, here's what you guys aren't thinking about. You guys aren't thinking about your tanks. You got to think about your tanks more. Maybe you're a bad healer. Maybe the tank has run out of cooldowns because you're a bad healer, but look, then they have an extra layer of protection, an extra cooldown that they can use whenever they want to. Also, the tank LBs are the only ones that are instant cast. All of these other limit breaks have cast bars. They allow you to back out of it whenever you want. You know, you can say, hey, maybe I don't want to use LB yet. Maybe there's a mechanic coming up. Maybe I shouldn't have done it at this time. Maybe I'm the wrong class. Those are weak thoughts for people who can't commit to their decisions. And you know what? The tank LBs don't have that problem because guess what? You use them, they're instant cast. They're gone immediately. You use up the whole bar. You give everyone protection. It's a win-win for everyone. The next class on our list is Dancer, and Dancer is also going to go in A tier. It's not going to go above Bard, because I think that it's a little bit worse in terms of aesthetics. But once again, it is a line AoE, and line AoEs are pretty good. Like I said, snipe the boss from across the platform. You have all those petals. They turn into cuts somehow. It's pretty cool. You know, it's a cool thing. Next up, we have Black Mage, and Black Mage is a circle AoE, so not quite as good as the line AoE is, because like I said, you can't really hit the boss from across the platform. It's also an AoE. So I'm going to put it in B, because, you know, it's not the worst, but it could be a lot better. Next up on our list, we have Dragoon, and Dragoon is going to get the honor of being the first melee LB. Now, a lot of people usually think melee LB is really good. They think it's definitely S tier, definitely A tier. They're usually always the ones that want to take the LB, but, you know, that's really selfish. Other classes have LBs too. Why do you gotta be the one hogging the spotlight? Also, all you do is like this quick animation, you do a bunch of damage to the boss, but you know, you can't do it from across the platform. You have to be right there next to the boss. No one's gonna be able to see it. It's just gonna be a really short animation. It's like LB is all about the razzle dazzle, and melee LBs are generally, you know, they're not really that flashy. And like I said, they go off really instantly, and you're going to be right next to the boss, so probably no one's going to notice them. What's the fun in that? Everyone built up the bar, and you're the only one who gets to see you do this cool, awesome move? That's lame. At least with the line AoEs, or even just the circle AoEs, it's a big flashy circle. Everyone gets to see it. But if you're a melee, if you're doing melee LB, no one gets to see it. You're just hogging the spotlight for yourself. That's lame. Don't be lame. Don't do melee LB. C tier. Next up we have Ninja, and Ninja is another melee LB, but I am going to put it above Dragoon because I'm biased and I like Ninja. Next up we have White Mage, and once again White Mage is a healer LB, but actually White Mage isn't that great at all because it's not even that cool. bend down, pray, and everyone gets revived and instantly healed. Like, what's the fun in that? That's not fun. That's not fun at all. At least Astrologian gets a cool flashy move, but, you know, when you're White Mage, you don't really get anything. Also, it's a healer OB, so it's automatically worthless. Next up we have Dark Knight, and Dark Knight is going in S tier. I don't think its animation is as cool as Gunbreaker's, so I'm not going to put it above Gunbreaker, but it is a tank LB, so it automatically gets an instant win from me. An animation that I do think is better than Gunbreaker's is Paladin. I mean, you activate tank LB, you build a giant wall, and it protects you instantly. It's really cool. It's a really cool animation. I like it. Another animation I really like is Machinists. I mean, it's a giant laser. Who doesn't like that? Instant A tier. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put it at bottom of S because I'm that biased. Next up, we have Samurai LB, and Samurai LB is another melee LB, so I feel like I want to put it in C tier because melee LB is, like, you know, kind of pointless. But at the same time, it does have a really cool animation, and I kind of really like that, so I'm going to put it in B tier because I'm a weeb, and that's where it's going. Next up we have Summoner, and while Summoner is a circle AoE, I think it does lose some points behind Black Mage because it doesn't look nearly as flashy as it should, considering it's literally Terra Flare. But at the same time, I'll still give it points. I'll still give it points because it is pretty cool. Next up we have the Punchy Fist Limit Break, and the Punchy Fist Limit Break is kind of lame because all you're doing is, you know, punching the boss really hard. So actually, it is going to go down here in F tier. It is going to go above White Mage because at least it's not a healer Limit Break. I do know I have Astrologian up here, but that's just because of aesthetics. But I am going to put it down here in F tier. It's going to be the first melee OB going down in F tier. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad at that, but I just don't think it's really that interesting. Next up we have Scholar, and Scholar is another healer LB, and it's actually the worst one. So it's going in F tier because it's super lame. All you do is, you don't even do the LB. You just summon a fairy, and the fairy does the LB for you, just like everything Scholar does. You're relying on other people. Don't do that. Be more like Warrior. You know what Warrior LB is? Warrior LB is summoning a giant mountain to, like, protect you and all your allies. That's really cool. That's super cool. In fact, it's cooler than Paladin. But for some reason, it wouldn't let me put it in front of Paladin, so I had to move Paladin back. There we go. Finally on our list, we have Red Mage LB3. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, he's probably going to put it in bottom of B, maybe above Samurai, but clearly it's the worst caster LB. And here's the thing, people. No, it's not. In fact, Red Mage LB3 is so good that I'm going to do what I did in my waifu tier list video for Y'shtola. And I'm going to give it its own tier. And its own tier is going to be called the best. Because Red Mage LB3 is the best. Now I know what you're thinking. Salt. How can it be the best one? It's way too flashy. It blinds people. It can wipe the raid. Well, here's the thing. None of that matters. Because Red Mage LB3 is our LB3. Think about it. Everyone has put in the effort to build up that limit break bar. To build up 3 limit break bars. And which one can you always see, no matter where you are in the boss fight? You could be anywhere in the arena. What you're going to see is going to be the Red Mage LB3 going off. Everyone gets to enjoy it. Who cares if you die? Who cares if it wipes the raid? Then you just get to experience it all over again. Who cares if it doesn't do as much damage as a melee LB? Who cares if it doesn't heal people? Who cares if it isn't a tank LB, which, like I said earlier, are generally the best ones? No. Red Mage is the best one because everyone gets to enjoy it, even if they die. So there we go. All of the limit breaks in Final Fantasy XIV ranked from objectively the best to clearly the worst. Let me know what you guys thought of my list down below. I'm sure a lot of people won't like this, but guess what? I'm right, you're wrong. Do be sure to like this video if you do have the right opinion. Also, be sure to subscribe if you want more clearly objective Final Fantasy XIV content from me, including lore videos. Like I said, I do have one of those coming out real soon, so do be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And I'll catch all you guys in the next one. Peace out. Also, yes, if you couldn't tell, this was in fact a April Fool's Day video. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone.